Family South. Welcome back, my family South Sudanese, wherever you are around the world. It is good to be alive. It is good to continue to learn things of everyday conversation making. Um, as I speak to you, I call upon men and women of our diplomatic corridors around the world, in Australia, in the United Kingdom, in Canada, here in the United States. Let me speak to you as a diaspora myself. If you have good memories, especially those of us who were here in the United States, who stood up in the winter cold night, knocking at doors of our friends, churches, our congressional affairs friends here in the United States, asking for dignity of the people of South Sudan. Remember, this was referendum. And then we went on further to advocate for independence. Little did I know, little did you know, that some days that had fought independence by blood and tears will be an independent of few individuals who claim themselves ownership of the country. As a member of academic society and a diplomatic mission, myself, as a member of a working conscious, reasoning mind, intellectual South Sudan, the last time I remember the word leadership. Leadership has not been about a small government owned by very few people who agreed with the purpose to loot the resources of the public for their own individual gain. It has never been leadership. Leadership has not been monarchy. It has never been a kingdom. South Sudan has never been ruled by king or queen, and it will never be ruled by any king or queen as long as we, the people, continue to live in this planet Earth together. We are beautiful people. We are diverse members of our community. We are Nyangwara, we are Madi, we are Zande, we are Dinka, we are Murle, and we are Nuer. That's the makeup of the beauty of multi-parts called South Sudan. What I have learned from my friends in US Congress and friends I've met along the way in social life is that leadership is supposed to be about selfless service to the least unfortunate human being. Not about stealing, or not about validating, or not about kidnapping, or not about silencing. All of us as humanity around the world, it doesn't matter if South Sudan, here where I live, or elsewhere, around the world in general, we are endowed by God the Creator with the right to speak, to express our disappointment, to question things. And there's no God in the universe that can tell a human being, don't ask questions. If I don't ask questions, I'm not a human being. I might be some kind of an alien from another planet. This South Sudan, we now find ourselves victim. The last time I remember, generations of men, including my father, including maybe your uncle, or your brother, or your own father, gave all that they have in the name of us, the next generation, this educated society, including myself, to have an opportunity to breathe, to have an opportunity to dialogue, to have an opportunity to have decency conversation. But what did we get after independence? After independence, we got intimidation, we got blue house, we got tribal identity politics, we got nepotism, we got individuals who rebels against the government, given back their position, they tend to have new tribe in the government, call themselves politicians, disguise. We had the same government that you and I protected for more than 43 years, turn against each other, call us name, call us Nyagat, call us traitors, and yet refuse to understand that country cannot be rebuilt with all ideas. I'm glad of Coleman Young word. Coleman Young once said, you cannot teach an old dog some new trick. I definitely believe that. Our revolutionaries fathers, those including Coleman Young, Awan Akot, Kir Mayadit, James Wanigat, Mama Nyanengdit, and everybody, never anticipate in their life that we, their children, we can be able to challenge them in the future. They thought that they can just bully us, tell us stories, bury our ideas in J1 politics, divided us into ethnic group, Dinka this, Nuer that, Equatoria that, and the list goes on. They never thought that some days our conscience will be awakened, our eyes will be open, we'll see the truth. And it is in this truth, I, Bolakom, I don't have anything against Salva Kiir Mayardit. I tell him thank you to help the road to independence. Thank you for bringing us together when we were divided after the death of John Garang. Now you're tired, you have health issues, go home, relax. Take whatever you have stolen from South Sudanese, take it with you. Give South Sudanese a breathing home. Let them breathe. Let them choose their future. Let them choose their destiny. Whether we choose Riek Machar to be our leader, whether we choose anybody, it doesn't matter if it's Riek Machar, Salva Kiir, or any other human being who want to be South Sudan leader. As long as whoever the next future leader of South Sudan, mandate obligation of leadership must be people first, personal interest second. Said it again, and I'm going to continue to say it. South Sudanese are some of the most kind human beings on the face of the earth. If they are managed by a leader with decency, who inspired them to dream big. Forget about what is happening in East Africa. You could see South Sudan in a more developmental project management in a whole different way. What do we have right now as South Sudanese? We have chaos. We have looting going on. We have nepotism going on. We have corruption going on. Like Ezekiel Lolgarkwa said in his previous, before he became Salva Kiir Mayardit tribe, that in South Sudan it is not about what you know or what level of education you have that will get you hired. I can add some few lines to Ezekiel Lolgarkwa's word on that topic. In South Sudan, it is either you merit to a family of the political elite group to get a job, you marry their daughter. It doesn't matter if you're coming from cattle camp, you become a general tomorrow. It doesn't matter whether you went to school, you can become a finance minister. Whether you even understand what finance is. It doesn't matter if you're educated or not, or you speak English, or you speak whatever language. As long as you married to a political elite family in South Sudan, you are Zol Kabir. The word I heard when I was in Juba, Zol Kabir. You're a big boy. So what I'm saying to you, my ambassadors across the globe, you, my sisters, eloquently speaking, you, my global ambassadors in Australia, in Canada, here in the United States, let's arise with reasonable mind to make sure that the history of what has just happened in South Sudan should never happen again in another generation. It should never happen again. What has just happened in the last 20 years of Salva Kiir leadership should never happen again in another generation. It's a disgrace of values of who we truly are as South Sudanese. I'm not speaking, reading his transcript. I'm speaking from heart of a South Sudanese young soldier, grew up, groomed by politics, went to school over here in the United States, worked along with the big boys, those of Salva Kiir Mayardit and everybody else. They were my colleagues. We led this country together. We failed you, our families, together. I don't have an excuse for what we have done as your leaders. And I don't invite any excuses to what is about to come right now. In a free democratic society, voices of disgruntled are allowed to speak. I'm going to speak my word point by point so that you can understand me clearly. So that you're not imagining or use what I have said that I did not say it. I'm going to go like a teacher who is trying to teach their student how to read or how to speak. I'm not going to be too fast. I'm not going to be too slow. I'm going to speak in a language that the average South Sudanese can be able to understand. I don't come live because I'm a Dinka or I'm a Nuer or I'm what. I came live as part of you, the generation that being told, keep quiet. You don't have a voice. Wait for your time to come. Here, we're not that generation anymore. We are fathers, we are mothers, we are uncles, we are even grandfathers. Yet, the system created by Salva Kiir Mayardit and his mafia group is still seen as unwelcome. The history of the United States is the best history in the world. United States of America brought different tribes of the world together to create imperfect union, not perfect union, imperfect union. The United States dream of perfect union has not been achieved by George Washington, Lincoln, Reagan, Bill Clinton, Bush, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and even the sitting president of the United States today, Donald Trump. The perfect union of America has not been achieved yet. Today, as I speak with you, we are heading to an anniversary of United States 250 years democratic values. Every president comes with their times and go with their disgrace or their appreciation. I come from the school of thought, genuine school of leadership, where I believe that I am my brother keeper, something I've learned from the School of Leadership, Global Leadership of President Barack Obama. In President Barack Obama Global Leadership academic reasoning part in politics, country come first before your interests. A man who works so hard and play by the rules get rewarded by the society. A man who just want to grab other people's stuff and benefit themselves is shame and disgrace. And this is exactly the story of our country, South Sudan. South Sudanese leaders, from Ezekiel Garquat, remember, ever since I began my conversation with you, I never talk about Mama Nyanengdik, I never talk about Wanigat, I never talk about Tabandengai. I only talk about Ezekiel Garquat, Salva Kiir Mayardit. I don't even know who Adud is, the person that everybody talk about. I don't know her. I never did any business with her. I don't know what she's doing right and what she's not doing right. I only hear that she is the finance minister behind South Sudan Finance Group. I don't know. I cannot prove it. If Adud one day come into my radar, then I'll have something to talk about it. But I can only talk about people I know. Ezekiel Karpot, Atanyuwek Atany, President Kiir Mayardit. Just remember the three people that I talk about. These are people I know very well, and they know me very well. Hussein Abdel Bagai, I don't know him. I've never met him in real life. I've met Josephine Lago, one of the most humble human beings I've ever done business with in Washington, D.C. When Mama Nyaningit came, we had a chance. We sat down in a cafe. We drink tea. I listened to her part of the story. She listened to my part of the story. We clapped for each other. She went. She became vice president. She was removed. Someone else was installed. It doesn't change the game. What matters is, what kind of South Sudan do we want? You, the global ambassadors, you, citizens of South Sudan, wherever you are. I have never spoke to you in Akumdit as a Dinka or Nuer. I've always spoke as a South Sudanese. The flag of South Sudan doesn't have a tribe attached to it. It doesn't say Dinka black, Nuer white, Equatorial red, or somebody else green, or somebody else yellow. It never says something like that. It only says we, the people of South Sudan. As sad as I want to tell you, Salva Kiir Mayardit era has come to an end, and it has come an end in a worse shame than he would have expected of himself. It's just a matter of time. President Salva Kiir Mayardit time has come to an end. To us politicians living in Washington, D.C., we know some things you, the average South Sudanese, have no clue understanding. We don't preach the gospel of what we know. I can only tell you, forget about this drum beat that is being cooked by only two people or three people. Of Senat Del Bagayi, Atanyuwagatany, my friend who, Ezekiel Garquat. Even the president doesn't even believe in election. I don't know where all of these three people are getting their election idea from. I've said then, how is it an election when all the vice president from Tabandengai, Mamanyanengdi, Wanigat, they're not talking about election. And yet, the Nuer people are being confused to believe that there's an election coming up. Let's go and vote. Salva Kiir Mayardit, why yay that? Come on, my people. Look around you. Look around the house. Who do you see shouting? Ezekiel Garquat is the one shouting. Who do you else see shouting? Atanyeweka Atany from Awil. Who do you see else shouting? Hussein Abdel Bagayi. He's the one actually who went to Awil and told Muslims community of Awil, hey, you Muslim community, I want you to vote for Salva Kiir Mayardit this coming December. As I watched Salva Kiir Mayardit trip to Bahr el Ghazal, it was a private visit. It was not even a campaign. How do I know that? Because I have friends inside his circle group. To many people's surprise, people were surprised when Salva Kiir said, I did not invite anybody to come along with me. Some governors and general invited themselves with the hope I was going to distribute them some money. Think about that for a second. With the hope I was going to distribute them some money. When there's no money distributed, everybody fly back from the jet they came from embarrassed because it wasn't a campaign. Salva Kiir Mayardit never went to Bahr el Ghazal for a campaign. He went for a private visit, a family private visit. Simple as that. What did the leaders in Juba did? Those include Atanyeweka Atany, Hussein Abdel Bagi, and everybody else. They jumped on the plane, went to Bahr el Ghazal. And then when Salva Kiir himself insulted them that all of you came and invited guests, I did not ask of you to come. You came with the hope that I was just going to distribute money to you, which is a bizarre ending experience. But you know what? In politics, we wanted to let it go. Not even the Minister of Information, Atanyeweka Atany, who's my best close friend, would dispute what I'm talking about. He would agree that I'm right 100%. Because I did not just gather my information from Facebook. I heard everything that happened. So, as the era of Salva Kiir Mayardit has come to an end, what will South Sudan look like the day after tomorrow when Salva Kiir Mayardit is no longer a leader? Because what Salva Kiir Mayardit have done is not what has been done in even communist society, China, or one party political group, Burkina Faso. If Salva Kiir is a true leader of South Sudan, whose leadership was given to him by the party SPLM, if he fell short of leading the country to the future, he need to go back to the SPLM conference in Bilfam, call upon the generals, all of his colleagues, and say the following: men and women of the SPLM, as your leader, I have done my part. The leadership of South Sudan has never been Kiir Mayardit family leadership. It has always been your leadership. Now that I have health issues, here's your leadership back. And sit down as a member of the SPLM. It is in that convention of the SPLM will decide another future leader, either by hierarchy or a new generation. Isn't that what convention is all about? South Sudan has never been a kingdom, has never been a monarchy. We South Sudanese, we have never bowed down to any king or queen. And we should not expect ourselves to be led by any kingdom of any family. As much as we are hurt by Salva Kiir Mayardit family in this leadership for the last 20 years, we should not allow it again, the constitutional power to be given to one man and his family in the future. If I were to be among the scholars of constitutional order to write the next constitution of South Sudan, I would never allow any president to say, I decree this and I decree that. No, I would never allow that to happen. I would always allow debate of the society, opinions of the public. Barack Obama global leadership taught me enough leadership skill to be able to feel confident, choose my word very well without offending anybody, to speak to you, the global ambassadors. George W. Bush, a friend to us South Sudanese, taught me some few ABCD about what leadership is about. Leadership is not about stepping on the throat of the poor. Leadership is about lifting the poor up above your own personal interests. Leadership has not been about looting from the poor to enrich yourself. Leadership has always been about try your best. If you fail, admit failure and go home, go to sleep. You'll still be a hero to be celebrated the next day. So until we have Salva Kiir Mayardit call the convention of the SPLM, go back to where he was given the leadership, because I know very well that he was not elected by us. He was elected by circumstance related to the death of John Garang by the SPLM leadership. Full stop. Unless if I live in another island where the truth doesn't exist. I know supporters of Salva Kiir Mayardit would say, how did you say that, Bolako? Am I stupid? Am I stupid? Do I look like I am stupid? Salva Kiir Mayardit was not elected by South Sudanese. He was elected by SPLM party as the result of the death of John Garang in the hierarchical leadership of the SPLM. Full stop. If Salva Kiir Mayardit believe in South Sudan and believe in leadership, he need to do the same thing. When John Garang died, he did not die with SPLM. He died as a human being with dignity. We buried him. We continue to call him a father of our nation. We continue to salute for him as our hero. The same to Salva Kiir Mayardit. He's still our hero. We still celebrate him. But this confusion that Salva Kiir Mayardit and his mafia group from Awan, who happened to be his clan from Gogriel, are doing is not South Sudanese that we all know. South Sudan is bigger than that. To anyone out there who wants to challenge me, South Sudan has never been a Dinka nation. It has never been Nuer nation. It has never been Equatorial nation. Nobody in South Sudan claim themselves to be more South Sudanese than the average South Sudanese themselves. This is now a raw politic, if you want to understand me. This is what politics is supposed to be about. Challenge each other, understand each other, question each other integrity, question each other leadership. Ask some serious questions without insulting each other. I don't care if Salva Kiir has 100 wives, it's none of my business. I don't care what Salva Kiir is doing with his life or his health, it's none of my business. What my business is the embarrassment we continue to receive on a daily basis, the slap on the face of our diplomatic missions around the world. We are the best joke ever talked about in East Africa community. Paul Kagame talk openly about us, South Sudanese, how foolish we are. A small country of Rwanda knows leadership much bigger than the country of South Sudan. If I have to split Rwanda into small, I think if I put a map of Rwanda, Eastern Equatoria itself would be Rwanda. That's how small Rwanda is. But Rwanda exhibit leadership than us, South Sudanese, the bigger. If I can look into the country of Uganda, I can put 3 Uganda in South Sudan. We'll still have another land open. for somebody else. Even in their confused leadership, I still find Ugandan people some of the most leaders in East Africa. You can find Ugandans shouting at each other, whoa, 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 whoa. But at the end, their country comes first, at the end of the story. You can find Ethiopians divided as hell. They are divided among Amara, among this, among that. But their country, Ethiopia, comes first, then their division. You can come to our neighbor, Kenya. They are divided as hell. Kalenjin this, Kikuyu that, Turkana what? But Kenya comes first. And the list goes on. If this is our first time experiment of a country or leadership, then sometime we need to sit down and relax. Let's borrow ideas from other people. If we don't know how to lead ourselves to be a perfect union, let's go to Kenya, learn something from Kenyans. Let's go to Uganda, learn something from Ugandan. Let's fly to Rwanda. Let's go and ask Paul Kagame, how the hell did you do it? Maybe Paul Kagame would tell us how he did it. Or let's ask 3,000 years or 300 years history, Ethiopia. Tell us what leadership is all about. Maybe they can teach us something about leadership. So I ask of you, the global ambassadors, wherever you are, please, we're still great people, we're still hopeful, we're still powerful. This is not the best time right now. Yesterday, we never had social media to talk to each other. But now, everybody is an ambassador of their own kitchen. Everybody is an expert of their own ideas. Let's share thinking. Let's share leadership. Let's not turn our back to the country we have created. And to you, people from Awan, who think that you own us, you don't own us anything, and South Sudan don't owe you a damn thing. South Sudan don't owe you anything in life. You are a South Sudanese like any other South Sudanese in the country. Relax. Give South Sudanese what belongs to them. I understand the principle of how you govern. Loot first, enrich yourself, care less about whoever is dying, care less about the country, with the hope there will come another generation. That's what I was told by some friends in 2017. There will come another generation. They'll fix it. Right now, it's not about time to talk about politics. Let's just eat. I heard a dude, I don't know when it was, 2018, talking about this country was fought by my father. It is my time to eat. I love my butt so hard on that statement. 2018, when I was working as a diplomat in Washington, D.C. That's when I heard a dude saying, this country was fought by my father, as if Salva Kiir himself was the one carrying a gun in the corridors of South Sudan, fighting the Arab by himself. What a dude never remembered is 2 million men who sacrificed all that they have for her to sit, even in that seat she's sitting right now, as a special envoy of a special I don't even know what the definition of a special program is. I never heard it from any country in the world. Not in the United States, where I live. Not in Canada, where you live. Not in Australia, where you live. Not in UK, where you live. There are no such a thing as a special program. A special program of what? Unknown. But what do we have in South Sudan? We have government of accommodation. If I want to bring my wife, I'll create a position called a special program. I would not even tell people what that special program is about. So if I do believe that her father fought the country and it is her time to eat, what about the children of the orphans, the children whose fathers have been killed in the road to independence? What about mothers who are now crying in UNIMIS camp, wanted to go back home, but there's no home to go back to? What about refugees who are now being humiliated in neighboring countries, in Uganda, in Kenya, Ethiopia, in Sudan? What about them? Are they not human beings? Don't they deserve the same right as adult right is? I believe if we are allowed to speak free without intimidation, we can achieve a South Sudan dream we all want. Now, back to another political issue. Like I said again in my show, and the IO people knows me very well, I'm not a fan of the distractions. I'm a humanist. I'm a politician. As much as I hate Riek Machar, let me say it again. Let me use the word hate. As a person, as much as I hate this man so bad, I still agree with him on certain point of our nation road to the future. There are things I agree with Riek Machar on. Number one, Riek Machar is educated. Number two, Riek Machar has network of global society understanding. Number three, Riek Machar can stand up as a man to speak about the aspirations of other human beings. Until his release, forget about everything that you have heard everybody talk about. Election this, election that. You cannot run an election while your oppositions are in jail. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. People like Atanyawek, Atany, Dalbagayi, Ezekiel Olgarkwat, Salpakir Mayad, they are terrified like hell. Release Riek Machar, he will talk to people like Bolakum, he will talk to global leaders, and he will steal our leadership. It's all about the seat. Everybody's holding into the chair. Me. South Sudan. Let me assume Riek Machar is allowed to run for election today. Let's compete in electoral concept. Let's go out there and talk. Let's hear part of Salva Kiir Mayardit. I don't know what record Salva Kiir Mayardit will run on if he's running today as the president of South Sudan. I don't know what record will he be running on. Would he run on the record that he helped brought independence after the death of John Garang? Or will he run on the record of dividing us more after independence? I don't know. What record will Salva Kiir Mayardit stand tall as a man and debate and demand respect of us South Sudanese on? I don't know what record either Riek Machar can run on. But if I have to cast my vote between the two, I know who I can vote for. I can vote for someone that understands global politics, someone who doesn't grab from the poor and suppress others. If it happened to be Salva Kiir Mayardit, I'll vote for him. If it happened to be Riek Machar, I'll vote for Riek Machar. If it happened to be Wanigat, I will vote for Wanigat. If it happened to be Mama Nyaning, I'll vote for whoever. But this idea that you can shoot yourself to make people understand. You're making people angry and angry more. You cannot kill yourself to convince people. It doesn't work in 21st century. Maybe in 1980s or in 1960s, the idea of suppression, dictatorship, can work. But today, in 21st century, it never works. In global digital community, give it a shot. Let's see how's that going to work. It's not going to work. So relax, my people, relax. Relax. Don't panic. There's no election coming up. The election that everybody's talking about, in which $60 million has been spent, is nothing but it is an election of Ezekiel Ulgarkwat. What is his name? Atanyuagatany, Abdel Bagayi, and President Kiir. 4 people only are the one talking about election. That's it. I challenge this leadership called Salva Kiir Mayardit. If you're talking about election, why don't you ask all of your vice president to go and campaign for you? Why do you think Taban Denga is keeping quiet? Why do you think Mama Nyaningit is not saying a damn thing about election? Why do you think Wanigat is not talking? Or do you think they're just stupid people? Why? It is either you naive, Salva Kiir Mayardit, or you, Ezekiel Lolgarkwad, you're naive. You believe that you own Nuer. You can just tell Nuer whatever it is that you want to tell, and hope Nuer will just bend down because Nuer are so stupid enough, they don't even know the truth. Are you serious? Are you serious? I know this and Nuer in the United States. I have colleagues like Dr. Gangs, who's here in Washington, D.C. with me. I know him. I have colleagues who are more educated, Nuer, than the average. Ezekiel Lolgarkwat, you're just joking. Nuer is not Jukeng alone. Nuer is not Gajak alone. We have Nguen Manchwil in Unity State. Is he talking about election? Are you kidding me? We have others in Upper Nile. Are they talking about election? Why is it you, the only Nuer person, talking about election? Where are you going with this story? You're making foolish of yourself, Mr. Ezekiel Lolgarkwat. Chill out. Relax. Whatever money you get from the government to advocate for them for election, eat those money, keep quiet. Those are your money. Those are your South Sudanese money. Get them. Go with it. But don't confuse innocence. Don't confuse innocence. To you, Atanyuwaka, you came from London. You came from the Western democracy. You understand how democracy works. Where is the primary where president is nominated as the flag bearer of South Sudan? When did it happen? Tell me. Did SPLM call election while I was asleep and nominated Salva Kiir as the flag bearer? I'm not so sure about that. To you, Abdel Bagayi, you don't own Muslims. You're just a Muslim, but Muslims have their own brain. They're not stupid people. Vote is a secret right of every individual. People decide who they want to. You cannot pull my hand and say, vote for this person. It doesn't work that way. Anyway, I got to go to work. I'll catch back with you on Saturday for more interesting politics. Thank you.